what's happening in Trish's room.
Chair, you are now live.
Thank you. And I just about lost my screen, and we're back. Well, thank you and welcome to the Grants Committee meeting for April 11th, 2022. To call to order and the land acknowledgement. So the Halifax Regional Municipality is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and traditional lands of Mi'kmaq people. The municipality acknowledges the peace and friendship treaties signed in this territory and recognizes that we are all treaty people. So we'll do the roll call. Councillor Trish Purdy with District 4.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good to be here.
Great. Councillor Lindell Smith, District 8.
Hello, hello, here, ready.
Thank you. Councillor Lisa Blackburn with District 14.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Thank you. And our Vice Chair, Alana Baxter.
Morning.
Morning. Joseph Allen.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Alex Handyside.
Yes, good morning from District 5.
Good morning, Alex. Stefan Ludden. I don't see Stefan. He'll come back. Leona Milne.
Good morning.
Good morning, Leona. And Emily Jackson has sent her regrets. So we do have 4. The next item is the approval of the minutes of March 28th, 2022. Are there any errors or omissions? Oh, hearing none, could I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So motioned.
Thank you, Alana, and a seconder.
Second.
I did not hear, sorry.
Oh, I'll second.
Thanks, Joseph. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we have the approval of the order of business and the approval of additions and deletions. Catherine, do we have any additions or deletions?
No, we do not.
Thank you. So would someone like to move the approval of the order of business?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Alex. And a seconder?
Second, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Business arising out of the minutes? There are none. Call for declaration of conflicts of interest. Does anyone feel that they have a conflict of interest for our agenda item today? Nope. We're moving on. Consideration of deferred business, none. Correspondence, petitions, and delegations. Catherine, do we have any?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Presentations are none. So we go right on to number 8, information items brought forward. There are none. So we're in reports, the presentation, which is 9.1.1, the less than market value lease, Needham Preschool and Daycare, 3372 Devonshire Avenue in Halifax. Tara Legg, would you like to speak to this item?
Sure.
Thanks.
The Needham Preschool and Daycare are a society that was put together in 1999 after the former city of Halifax stopped doing daycare, childcare. They were on a less than market value lease for many years, with HRM picking up costs for many things. However, in light of the situation around that area, there was several daycares in the immediate area which did not have less than market value. So in fairness to the other daycares in 2013, we discussed with them to put them on a market value, to put them in line with other daycares. In 2014, we did put them at a less than market or at a market value lease at $14 a square foot. In 2018, they looked for an extension after their first 5 years. They were then continued on at a market value lease at $16 a square foot. And in 2020, the child care AO came out, which then asked HRM to provide less than market value to daycares within HRM facilities. So this is where we are today. So today, renewing their agreement, we're renewing it at less than market value as per the AO. And the first year of the lease will be at $6 a square foot. And it's for a 5-year term.
Great. Thank you, Tara. Maybe we'll have someone put a motion on the floor and then we can discuss. Lindell,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I move that the Grants Committee recommend that Halifax Regional Council authorize the mayor and municipal clerk to negotiate and enter into a less than market value lease agreement with Needham Preschool and Daycare for the premises located at Needham Community Center, 3372 Devonshire Avenue, Halifax. And such lease agreement shall contain key terms and conditions essentially similar to those set out in Table 1 in the second section of the staff report dated. And it just ends on the agenda.
Is there a seconder? Joseph, thank you.
Is there a date that's supposed to be on?
Second, Alana.
February 22nd, 2022.
Okay, February 2nd, 2022. It's just on the agenda for some reason. It just stops at dated. So that's
Oh, okay.
sorry. Really nothing much to say on this one. Needham Daycare has been in the community for a long time. My daughter went there for many years. So it's not a conflict. She graduated out of there. She's now in junior high, so no conflict anymore. So yeah, I have no concerns. I'm happy. The biggest question I had when I was reading it before it was noted in the report is that we are currently in the process of preparing to build the new Needham Center across the street at the old Devonshire Rink, and it does mention in the report that the timelines do consider that change. So that was going to be the biggest question, is doing the 5 years, understanding that we're hoping to have it done within that 5 years, but it's been listed that that's been considered. Well, I guess what I do wonder is, and we don't, maybe if you want to use Tara's crystal ball, when the new Needham Center comes online, we'll determine if they're going to be a tenant there or not. That I know those conversations are being had as we prepare how the building will look. Just wondering, with new centers, so this is a general question, but does fall under the new Needham, with new centers, does the square footage stay the same because of the AO, or do we charge an extra cost because we're going into a new space? That's one. And I'm also wondering, Needham Center also was requesting we support them at another location, not related to a lease in a community center, but other aspects. And I'm not sure how much I could say because I don't know those conversations we had. So I'm just wondering if staff had any conversation related to them in another location, potentially related to Weston Market.
Tara, would you like
So-
to answer that?
Sure, through you, Chair, to the Councillor. The per square foot amount that we're charging them for their current location would not necessarily transfer over if they are in fact going into the new center. That has not been determined at this point. And for the other piece of property that you're discussing there, it has been with staff and discussion. It's not with me as I deal with buildings. It's for a piece of property, which is land, and that's being discussed outside, but it is being discussed.
So just really quickly, and I'm done, thank you. Sorry
Sure.
here to jump in. So just to help me wrap my head around this, because this could fall under other community groups who are in our spaces and those new buildings come online. So do we consider the square foot related to the building itself, or is the square foot attached to the AO?
The square footage would be what is in excess that we'd be able to rent to them. The square footage
Right.
for space. So if we have a square foot of space that's maybe 3,000 square feet, we may be able to rent that to them. But if we only have 200 square feet of excess space that HRM's not using, then it would be that's what we have.
But the amount, the cost stays the same.
No, the cost could be different. The cost is
Okay.
done by market value, and
Okay,
it's
right,
then
right,
we
right.
reduce it right to less than market. So it will change with the market.
Got you. All right.
Yep.
That makes sense. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Lisa, Councillor Blackburn.
Hi there. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Tara, I'm just wondering, so is this a part of a process that's sort of playing out right across HRM? I'm just thinking about, we've got a community center out in Beaverbank that has a daycare as well. And I know that when I served on the board of directors there, and that was something that was being negotiated when I left that. So I'm just wondering, how many of these less than market leases are we entering into, and is this sort of part of a larger process that we're undertaking? Thank you.
Through you,
Alright.
Chair, to the councillor, it's as the leases come available, we'll be looking at this because the AO kind of directs us to what we need to do. However, the space that you're discussing in Beaverbank is a little bit of a different scenario, as you may be aware. I can't discuss it online. However, it is a different structure, and that different structure may not allow for that.
Gotcha. So, so the process is going to look different depending on the situations then.
Correct. The AO is
Yeah.
only speaking to nonprofits at lesser market value.
Gotcha. Understand. Thank you very
But
much.
just so you know, I am on that file as well. So if you have questions,
Oh, are
please
you? Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. Alex, Mr. Handyside, have you the floor.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, a question. I'm just thinking about the administrative order that came out. Those entities that had their leases renewed immediately after the AO came out would benefit from the lower fee that was in the AO. Those ones like this that come out, months and months and months later are at a disadvantage because they've been paying the higher rates until their current lease expires. So an entity that has, who doesn't see their lease expire until 11 months after the AO is at a significant disadvantage. Is that correct? And how do we remedy that?
Thank you, Alex. Tara, on to you.
Through you, Chair, to the councillor. To be quite honest, there's very few daycares in HRM facilities. So there's very few that we have to negotiate this path with. However, your question is absolutely something that was of concern. Really, this is the only one that's going to be heavily impacted, and we've already passed that time frame. They weren't sure if we were going to have the Needham preschool and daycare in the building longer than their current term, because prior to COVID and things like that, the new building was going to be done by now, but we're not at that stage yet. So your question shouldn't affect any other daycares that I'm aware of, because they're all currently at lesser market, if
Okay,
they
thank you.
qualify.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tara. Do we have any other questions for Tara? No. Well, before we let her go, I want to say thank you, and thank you to everybody for coming for a one agenda kind of meeting, but it is important because it does affect what the lease payment is for the month. So it was very important to the daycare that we do meet today. So can we call for the question?
Question.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so very much, Tara. You know your stuff.
Thank you so much.
It was great. So next up, committee, it says none. Committee members update, it says none. Does anybody have any updates they want to add? Added items, there were none. So the date of our next meeting is May 9th, 2022. I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move we
So
adjourn.
motioned.
Thank you, Trish. Have a wonderful Monday, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You're
Thanks,
running
Kathy.
deep.